What was that? What even happened here? Look, it's Montreal lost the game, but we got Cole Caufield up to now 17 goals in his last 19 games going back to last year. Lane Hutson once again showing off how he's one of the best offensive defensemen in the entire NHL. And hey, even in the 8-1 game, Josh Anderson managed to pot something. But Jesse, there's a lot more to talk about than just the positive for the Habs tonight. There was some interesting stuff that went on in this game. We're here to break it all down for you. Don't panic, first of all. There's no time to panic, but there are definitely a lot of questions raised from this game. And you know what? We're going to get straight into it. We're not even going to hesitate. So the first thing I want to bring up, Jesse, is this here. A tweet from Marc-Antoine Gaudin during the game. He said, last year, we had to wait until the 38th game of the season on January 4th to see the Habs lose by 5 or more goals. And this was tweeted during the second period. And sure enough, Montreal did go on to lose 8-2, losing by 6 goals. That's their second one this season. And it took them 38 games last year to get to that point, Jesse. Despite the defense being good, we'll probably revisit this one after talking a bit more about Lane Hutson. But honestly, this game was, I don't want to swear on this show, but I was about to say something, like there was just so much wrong with it. But at the same time, it's great to see a guy like Slaf back. It's great to see some guys pulling through, but I'm honestly like, I don't want to be negative about this, but I'm tired of these slow starts. And I just wonder what's causing them. I don't know.
My notes from this game, I'm in a glass case of emotion. I just don't know.
Are you okay? Ron.
Jesse, right?
I'm in a glass case of emotion.
We're going through it right now. It's just the deja vu. Halloween came a little bit early, for the Montreal Canadiens tonight. Kind of a tip shot there.
It's the scariest thing I've ever seen.
There. Oh my goodness. A lost face-off in the offensive zone on the power play there. And again, some bad penalties, as well, right? Which was the big problem, Josh. And the reason that we're feeling this way, why is this rattling it so much, is you never want to feel like the other team outworked you. But that was kind of what it felt like tonight. I think that's one of the worst things for me personally.
Yeah, like there were some guys that were showing up tonight. I'm losing my voice, or I don't even know what's going on. But like there were some guys that showed up. Like I thought Josh Anderson had a high effort game. He scored a goal. It's not the nicest goal, but he scored it. Slaf in his first game back from injury, it didn't take him long to put him back on that first line, Jesse, and he showed why. He got a point in his first game back, and he was the most impactful player, according to, of course, the hockey stat cards here. But again, like the defense, Jesse, it's not even just the defensive pairings, because like honestly, if I show that picture again, realistically 5v5, the defensive pairings were not bad. A lot of the stuff this game, like the 4 early goals on Monty, I know you're a much more proponent of pulling goalies a little earlier than they gave Monty the leash for tonight. And honestly, looking back at the game, I would tend to agree at this point. I was maybe hesitant at the start, but looking at how it ended up going down, yeah. But it was the forwards playing defense. Like there was just no coverage. It felt like Seattle could get absolutely wherever they wanted. And I don't know, like, while the defenders were not that great, as you can see, Xhekaj and Logan Mailloux had really, really, really poor defensive metrics. The offensive metrics almost made up for it in terms of general impact. And even a guy like Matheson, his offensive impact outweighed the defense. But look how many of these guys had negative team defense and negative individual defense. The individual defense is the dark purple bar. With a guy like Logan Mailloux being super far down, Jayden Struble being down, of course, Slaf, Anderson, Evans, Galley, they were all up there, solid. Even a guy like Christian Dvorak was slightly positive defensively, even though he was statistically the worst forward in the entire game by far, 5v5, and I think like a 15% expected goals for. I know we tend to put the blame on the defense, Jesse, but a game like this tonight reminds us why they're still young and there's still a lot to learn, because even the forwards, and even some of the veterans just felt like they were lost at times. And I don't know, it feels like there's times where Montreal just looks like they're ready to go. And then there's some games like tonight where it looks like they haven't been ready to go for weeks.
And we outshot the other team. Yeah. Like there was some things there, right? But it was a couple of those bad bounces. Like for sure there was some ones for Monty that were pretty tough, but tip shots, Josh, are going to happen every game. Like a shot from the point and getting tipped. You can bank, on that happening, every pun intended, every single game. That's just going to happen in the NHL. But it's really how you really respond to that. That is kind of the difference maker here. And early on especially, and absolutely, Josh, I would really like to see Marty, and I've mentioned it before on the pod, pulling the cord a little bit earlier, a couple quick goals early in the game, either it's switching the goalie or getting that timeout. We had it, but we're waiting till we're 4 goals down before Marty's pulling a goalie, before he's having a timeout, and really chewing into his team. Like, the whole point of doing that is you want to do it before the game gets away from you. It's great to do it at that point, but what value does it really have, right? Not too much in terms of actually winning the hockey game, where you can kind of turn some things around. Even if it's just a little bit of that break, it sends a message to the team, obviously, to do something differently. So I think that was just a big thing tonight. The positives definitely, though, of Cole Caufield staying hot. They're tied with Nico Hischier with 9 goals in the NHL. Tied for the scoring lead there. Cole Hudson as well. I'm just joking. Lane Hudson, our boy. Shout out to Sportsnet, right? And TSN. It's like, I love to see him grabbing the puck and like just staying hot with it. Like he did like on that second, making his best case of why he should still be on that first power play. I know Matheson's doing good on that. I still think that Lane Hudson would do a lot better. Proof being, as soon as he gets on there on the ice for that second power play unit, like he is just making stuff happen. I love to see him maybe going to the zone and kind of holding on to it a little bit more himself, because as you see, like such a tremendous move to the front of the net here. Like, you just want to see our best players really taking ownership of the game. And that was Lane Hudson. Even though he's one of our younger players, he was one of the ones saying, let me assert myself. And you could tell, like, he didn't like that the game was getting away. He's like, let me kind of do something. Let me get on a break to kind of make something happen. So nice to kind of see that fighting spirit. But again, there's going to be some big questions for this team kind of going forward and finding that consistency, right? Because we're seeing a streaky team like early on this season. We see 2 wins, followed by 4 losses, followed by 2 wins again, and now a big loss, right? So it's a game that really, we don't know quite what to expect from this Montreal Canadiens team from night in to night out. It can be good, or we can have these big blowups as well. So I think kind of finding that consistency is going to be really big going forward, and obviously bringing that energy as well, and never feeling like you're going to get outworked by your opposition.
Yeah, the energy was the biggest thing for me. Like, again, there were guys that played with energy, and it's not like the whole game was lethargic, but I find it hard to understand. Again, look, the team owes me nothing. They're all professionals. No one's going to say that they gave anything less than 100%, and I would tend to believe them. But when you watch the games, it's like, what is it? Like, this team just doesn't look the same as the last game or the game before, and they don't look ready to come out and start a game. A team like Seattle, who was like not doing very well. They were reeling. They were on a bad losing streak, a few bad losses in a row, and they come in and they smoke Montreal at home. It's like, you don't look ready when you come out the gate. It's just a bit surprising, right? But again, like you said, that comes with consistency. And right now, the D-core has been in shambles. The forwards have not played well defensively. At one point, not too long ago, after that loss to the Rangers, we were saying it's a bit of a nightmare start to the season. But at the same time, it's like, we were 4-4-1 coming into this game, and now we're 4-5-1. It's not that crazy. And for Montreal, like, one more win on Thursday against the Washington Capitals, and you're right back into this picture. But speaking of that, just, by the way, I forgot to play this while we were on that subject. Look, Lane Train's our boy. He is so good. I know you guys love that animation. It's really great. Just want to talk, because we're going to play the Capitals Thursday. Ovi scored a couple goals tonight. 2 as of the recording of the video. I don't know if he got any more after that. But he's on the chase for Gretzky, and we're talking about Cole Caufield, Jesse. I know we mentioned him just briefly at the top of the show. 17 goals in his last 19 games going back to last season. Now 9 goals in 10 games this season. The last player to score 50 goals in their team's first 50 games was Mario Lemieux, I believe. So, or maybe it wasn't even him. I think it might have been Burrows. I'm not even totally sure. But still, one of those guys. And Caufield's, I'm not saying he's going to do it, but Nico Hischier has played, I think, 12, maybe 13 games, because they started the season way earlier. In terms of goals per game, Caufield's number 1, and just wanted to give another shout out. I know you just mentioned it. I don't really have a Caufield animation. I have this, which is close enough, I suppose. So, but he has been so good for this team. Honestly, though, I'm really glad to see that they put Slaf back on the first line and they fixed that power play, because they didn't have Slaf on the first power play for a bit. But Slaf on that first line, they were creating some chances. They looked really good. I'm hoping to see some more of that, because again, Slaf's still a point per game player, 7 points in 7 games that he's played, still getting a lot of hits, still impacting the game if we go back to the scorecard. So I think that top line, I don't know. We saw Dach with Heineman and Kaiden at the end of the game, Jesse. We saw Marty mixing some things up, and I can only expect some more mix-ups coming in the next couple games.
Yeah, definitely. That's it. For this first line, we see Cole Caufield, as we kind of alluded to in yesterday's pod, it's like getting in front of the nets where he scores, and lo and behold, tonight as well, that's where it really happens, in front of the net as well. So as he continues to get in front of those areas, he's going to continue to be successful. Like, this is an amazing start for him. And even though this was a bad loss tonight, the big thing is having a player like that, having a game-breaking ability like Cole Caufield is, that's what gives you hope. You know, even though this one really got away from us, there is so much hockey to be played. We are in the mix right now as we speak still, right? But it's just about tightening it up. But it's players like Caufield that really give you a little bit of light, at the end of the tunnel. Again, Slap finding a way to contribute. So nice to see him back in the lineup, feeling healthy. Kirby had a shot, right, on the first line, but you see, and if he would have played well tonight, he could have kept that, right? But that was an interesting how
Worst
that kind
plus
of played
minus
out.
on the team for Kirby.
Exactly, and he's yapping a lot with the refs and everything, and I want to see just his discipline really kind of coming into check a little bit further, kind of moving on. We love Dach, we love what he brings to the game, but more focusing, on the game first to begin with. I think he's getting a little bit too involved in the extracurriculars as well. But that discipline, we saw a bad penalty from Dach once again this game, and also from Newhook as well. I just had very bad times in the game as well, right as we're starting to get some momentum, and just absolute kind of killers there. So, you want to see that they're young players. It's about figuring out. I think that Dach has a great future. We want him to really succeed. We know the potential he has, and he's showing glimpses of it, right? But Dach is such a great, kind of example of this entire team of there's really great things, but then kind of finding that kind of common ground, a little bit more of that consistency in his game is going to be huge. As he's able to do that, which I believe he is, also this young Habs team's going to round out their game and be a little bit more consistent, because there are definitely some great things to build upon, but obviously we know what we need to address right now to really take some steps forward.
100%. Just a couple of things I wanted to highlight before this video ends. Montreal had 2 takeaways all game. I don't know if I haven't added up these giveaways. We got 2, we got 4, we got 6, we got 8, we got 10, we got 11 giveaways, 2 takeaways. Yeah. Lane Hutson led the team in time on ice tonight, giving him the reins. It was funny at the end of the game. They were cheering everything Lane Hutson did and booing some of the other players. It's the classic Montreal crowd. And the other unfortunate things to come out of tonight, the nightmare, the spooky thing, Nick Suzuki's point streak ends. Montreal's penalty kill, I can guarantee you, is no longer third in the NHL after tonight. But there's lots of time to bounce back. The Washington Capitals, they're not looking brutally bad, but they're a very beatable team. So we'll see what Montreal can do come Thursday. But that'll do it for this episode of Habs Digest. If you enjoyed, or maybe if you just enjoy wallowing in the poor play of the Montreal Canadiens, I know some of you enjoy that, and that's okay. We like all kinds of different fans down in the comment section below. So regardless of your thoughts, positive or negative, we love to hear them down there. But that'll do it for this episode. If you enjoyed, leave a like, comment, subscribe to the channel. All that good stuff. We really appreciate you sticking around till the end of the video if you're still here. I'm Josh Gosse, my co-host, Jesse Poirier. We'll catch you in the next one.